Using non-rechargeable alkaline batteries in handheld radios by Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Just on the battery theme still, I've got a selection of radios here, so quite a nice selection. I've got this realistic TRC 1007, as you know, that I picked up off eBay. And that's part of the subject of the short that I put up recently, which was the batteries reading negative voltage. I don't remember what that short was, despite the fact it was the most recent short I'd done. So now you can see inside the battery pack there, and it actually says on the label that it takes 10 NiCad batteries, which were the rechargeable batteries of the time, or 8 AA batteries, but that would be 8 alkaline batteries, which is kind of the subject of this video anyway, and there was 8 alkaline batteries in there. I can't power this up right now, because obviously there's no batteries in it and they're dead. So, got me thinking, because on radios like this Anytone, the battery is a lithium battery, which is usually something like that, although I think you can get AA battery cases for most of these radios. I know my Yaesu FD2D, which is actually on charge in the other room right now, is one of those cases in point. So, what one of my plans was this Intec MT5050. Now this has had rechargeable batteries in it since I got it. It's gone through 2 sets of rechargeable batteries, the ones that came with it. Belt clip's taken off at the moment so I can actually get into the battery box, and also a set of Energizer rechargeable batteries with slightly higher capacity than the ones that were supplied. Now, conveniently, this, I'm not sure if you can see into the battery box, but there's 2 spaces there and 3 spaces there, so this conveniently takes 5 AA cells, which conveniently you can get from Poundland, and this is the same pack that I picked up the day I actually went into Poundland to do the Poundland video. So, my plan is to put these into there. Now, you can't just stick these in. I'm going to bring this closer to the camera so you can see it. There's a little switch, not sure if you can see that, it might not focus. And I'm looking at a screen with a delay to try and get it into the right place. Just where my finger is, and I'll put a photograph of that up in the video. There is a switch labelled AL and NI. Now currently it's in the NI position for the nickel metal hydride batteries that were in this, but I need to be able to switch that to the AL position, so I'd need a small implement to do that. I don't have one immediately to hand. No, there's nothing on my desk behind me right now, so that's something I would need to do. So, unlike with this radio, this Binatone Action 950, it's also PMR 446, Binatone, however you want to pronounce it. Now, this does have cells in it, but they are almost depleted. So that's not going to stay switched on for very long. So I can show you the cells that are in this. It is in fact the ones from Poundland. It came with rechargeables, which you normally put this into a drop-in charger to recharge. So, to recharge it, it would be drop-in charger on these 2 contacts, but this works fine off 4 AA cells. So they're going to need to be changed at some point. Let's try and put the right battery cover on that. So what about other modern handheld CB radios, without knocking anything else over? So this is a Midland Allen 42 Multi. This has got a battery box on it, not the one that it's normally got on it, because that's on charge in the other room as well, because that was also running a bit low. So this is not actually coming off as easy as it went on. There we go. So, got the battery box here, it's got the 2 little contacts. Now this takes 6 cells off memory. Yep, so it takes 3 in that side and 3 in that side for a total of 9 volts. there's 8 in the rechargeable box, if I recall. And they're at 1.2 each usually. So that's not going to power up right now, but I am going to be putting some of these Kodak cells into it. And we've got this Intec H520 Plus. This is one of my other handheld CBs, which does switch on because there is batteries in it. Now this is set at the 4 watt setting. I'm just going to adjust the squelch so you don't hear that background noise. There we go. So this is currently set at 4 watts. I'm just going to transmit now. That's not lasting long, and I've checked the voltage of the batteries and they are more or less close to full charge. Well, they're about 1.3 volts, so it's probably a little bit less than full charge. But what's happening with this, because I've monitored it, is it's actually pulling the voltage right down, so I don't know what's going on with that, whether that's something to do with the batteries or what. So I'm also going to try these same cells in this radio, and this also takes 6 cells, 6 of the dry cells for a total of 9 volts. So I'm going to try that as a little experiment. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pause the video at this point so I can get a small implement to switch the switch over on this, and I'll show you me actually installing the batteries into this. So I've just picked up this precision screwdriver, trying to get words out, it's a bit of a tongue twister. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the switch that's in here. I'm sure you can see this. Across to the alkaline position. That didn't work, so I'm going to try that again. There we go, that's now moved over. I still don't know if you can actually see that. Probably not. No, I don't think you can see that. So just have to look at the screen there. So that's now in the alkaline position. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put these into it. And that didn't quite go to plan, did it? Oh, there we go. Going somewhere now. Okay, it helps if I put them in the right way. Okay, now they're in. That's now working. Put that onto one of the PMR 446 channels. Because this does have LPD 433 in it as well, which is very annoying. Okay, so that's now on PMR channel 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this radio and use it as a monitor receiver. That's the same sort of beep tone as this. These have the same sort of beep tone, didn't notice that. Anyway, so it's now on PMR 446 channels. Okay, so it's now on 446 channel 1. So I wouldn't transmit on PMR 446 with this normally because it's not type approved for that band. So this is 1, 2, 3 testing. Let's level them up a bit more. 1, 2, 3 testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just brought it closer to my microphone. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, so that's actually working fine. This does have a Roger bleep on it, which I have switched off, but I will switch it back on. So I'm not actually sure why the Roger bleep is off. There we go. So that's transmitting fine. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to try and see how long those cells actually last. And I'm going to follow up this video with another one putting cells into the handheld CBs and see how long those last as well. So it's worth a try, and let's see what happens. I'm not going to do this one on video because it just be a repeat of really doing this. So I'm going to find out just how well these alkaline batteries are in these handheld radios. Now, bearing in mind this was made in 1987, so I expect it to be quite power hungry and not as efficient as the modern circuits, say in this, for instance. So, because those batteries are relatively cheap to get hold of, because they're from Poundland, I can get quite a few of them, and hopefully that will show some results over the rechargeables. Now, I'm not sure whether I'll put any rechargeables back into any of these, just to see how they compare. But I have a feeling that, because this one, it's not really that efficient, it's pulling the voltage down and it's basically causing the low battery alarm to trip out. So I'm wondering if that's down to me using rechargeables in that. So I'm going to try putting alkalines in that as well, and that'll be a different video. So I'm going to pop it to the test and we'll see what happens. So it's Paul, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres, and PMR 446, or if you just catch me on the old CB, I'm going to grab this one just for that reference. Then you can call me the Red Squirrel. And, oh, this is one of my favourite CB handhelds actually, because it's just retro and cool. And I'm hoping to get that working again this week. I actually get paid this week, so that's good news. So 7.3 for now, and I'll catch you in the next one. And if I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I'm looking at the screen off to one side there, so I can see where I am in relation to the camera and everything else. So it's worth a shot with those AA cells. So let's try them out and see how they fare. So this is, well, the first video on that subject. So 7.3 for now, guys.